The plea in the dust. The wind was dry and hot as it blew across the edge of the alien colony. Liam, a human repair worker, was walking back from a broken water pump. Dust covered his boots. The sun above was twice the size of Earth's, and the ground below felt like it could crack at any step. This was supposed to be just another normal day. But then, he saw her. At first, he thought it was a bundle of cloth lying in the dust near the road. But as he got closer, he realized it was someone crawling, slowly, weakly, toward him. It was a woman. No, an alien woman. Her skin was light gray with a soft blue shine. Her hair was long and tangled, like silver threads blowing in the wind. Her dress was ripped, her arms scraped, and her knees were bleeding. Her body looked like it could fall apart any second. She looked up at Liam with glowing violet eyes. Then, without warning, she dropped to her knees. "Please," she whispered, her voice hoarse and broken. "Please, marry me." Liam froze. "What?" he asked, thinking he heard her wrong. "Marry me," she repeated louder now, her hands shaking as she clutched his pants. "Please, if you don't, they'll kill me." Liam looked around, confused and a little scared. There was no one else around, just the sound of the wind and her desperate breath. "Who will kill you?" he asked, crouching down carefully. "Are you hurt? What's going on?" "They sent me away," she said, eyes full of pain. "I was not chosen. No male accepted me. Under the law, I must die before the sun set. Unless someone chooses me. A mate. A husband." She looked up at him, her face covered in tears and dust. "You are human," she whispered. "Your law is different. If you accept me, they cannot take me back." Liam stepped back, his heart pounding. He didn't even know her name. She was clearly scared, but was she telling the truth or just using him? "You don't even know me," he said. "I don't care," she said quickly. "You breathe. You walk. You are not cruel. That is enough." Liam didn't know what to say. He had lived on this colony for months, fixing machines, avoiding trouble, and keeping to himself. He had heard stories about alien traditions, but he never imagined something like this. He looked at her again. She wasn't faking her fear. Her body was trembling. She could barely sit straight. Her knees were scraped from crawling. Her shoulders shook with every breath, and yet despite all that, she kept begging. "Please, please don't leave me," she said. "If I go back alone, they will burn my name. They will end my bloodline. They already marked me for death." Liam swallowed hard. He didn't know what to do. He wasn't a hero. He didn't want to be involved in alien politics, but he also couldn't walk away. "Can you stand?" he asked. She looked at him with wide eyes. "You'll help me?" "I'm not promising marriage," he said, "but I'll get you out of the sun. Come on." He offered his hand. For a second, she didn't move. Then she reached out with shaking fingers and held on to him like he was the last hope in the galaxy. He helped her up. She was light, too light. Her body leaned against his as they walked slowly toward his small shelter not far from the road. "What's your name?" he asked. "Syria," she whispered. "I'm Liam," he replied. She smiled weakly. "Thank you, Liam. Even if I die, thank you for not walking away." They reached his shelter and Liam helped her lie down on a clean blanket. He gave her water. She drank it like she hadn't seen water in days. Liam sat across from her, watching her rest. He still didn't understand everything. But one thing was clear. This woman was in danger. And something inside him said, "Don't let her go." Outside, the twin suns began to lower in the sky. Night was coming, and maybe, so was something worse. A strange proposal. Liam watched the alien woman sleep. Her name was Syria. She lay quietly on the blanket, her body still shaking from exhaustion. Her silver hair spread across the pillow like spilled moonlight. Even in her broken state, she looked peaceful. But Liam's mind was far from peaceful. "Marry me," she had begged, "or they will kill me." What kind of law was that? How could any species believe that if no one wanted you, you deserved to die? Liam paced the room. His shelter was small, a metal box with one window, a solar cooker, and 2 chairs. He was just a machine tech, not some warrior or leader. He fixed broken things, not people, and definitely not aliens with royal problems. A soft sound made him stop. Saria was awake. Her violet eyes blinked slowly as she sat up, holding the blanket around her. "You stayed," she whispered. Liam nodded, pulling up a chair. "You passed out. I couldn't leave you in the dust?" She looked down, embarrassed. "I'm sorry, I should not have begged like that. It was shameful." "You were desperate," he said. "Anyone would have done the same." "No," she said quietly. "Not anyone. Many saw me crawl. Many turned away. You didn't." Liam didn't know what to say to that. Saria took a slow breath. "Do you know what happens at sundown?" she asked. "You said they'll kill you?" She nodded. "It's called the final rejection. If a woman reaches mating age and is not chosen by her people, her soul is judged unworthy. She is erased. Her name, her history, even her bloodline, all gone." "That's insane," Liam said. "To you, maybe. But on my planet, a female without a bond is seen as cursed, bad luck, waste of resources. My own family cast me out. They thought I was weak. They left me near the human sector to disappear quietly." Liam frowned. "So you thought if a human claimed you, they'd be forced to stop," she finished. "Your people are protected. If a human takes a female in, the old law can't be used. They'd be embarrassed to challenge it. So marrying me would keep you alive?" "Yes. Even if it's fake. Even if I sleep on the floor and never speak again. Just the bond is enough to shield me from them." Liam leaned back, thinking hard. "You don't even know me, Saria. What if I'm dangerous?" She gave a small, tired smile. "You gave me water. That's more kindness than anyone else ever gave me." He looked at her again. Thin, tired, wounded, but still proud. She had no weapons, no tricks, just fear in her voice and pain in her past. "What if I say no?" Liam asked softly. Saria looked down. "Then I will return to the rocks outside. I'll kneel and wait for the night to fall. It is tradition." Silence filled the small shelter. Liam's hand tightened around the edge of the chair. This wasn't the life he signed up for. He came here to fix machines, not change destinies, but she wasn't asking for love, she was asking for life. And for some reason, Liam felt he couldn't walk away. "All right," he said slowly. "We'll do it." Her head snapped up. "What?" "We'll fake it. I'll say I took you as a bond partner. I'll even register it under human law. That'll keep them away, right?" Her eyes filled with tears. Yes, that's enough." "But this is just to help you survive," Liam added. "I'm not looking for a wife." "I understand," she whispered, bowing her head. "This is more than I could ever dream of." Suddenly, a loud noise echoed outside. A ship. Liam moved to the window and peeked out. His face went pale. A dark alien hovercraft was landing in the red sand just outside his shelter. Saria stood up in fear. "They're here. The hunters." Liam turned to her. "Can they come inside?" "Not if we show them the bond," she said, her voice shaking. "But we must act fast. They will test it." Liam grabbed his data slate and opened the human-alien treaty files. "Let's make this bond legal," he said. Saria stood beside him. She placed her hand over his, her fingers glowing faintly as their names locked together in the registry. Turn. Screen turned green. Bond registered. Outside, heavy footsteps approached the door. Saria looked at Liam, her face filled with fear and hope. "Are you ready to lie to them?" she whispered. Liam took a deep breath. "No," he said, walking toward the door. I'm ready to protect you. The hunters arrive. The knock on the metal door was not gentle. It was loud, heavy, threatening. Saria flinched. Liam stood in front of the door, breathing slowly. His heart was pounding like a drum inside his chest. He had just registered a fake bond with an alien woman he barely knew, just to save her life. And now the people who wanted her dead were right outside. The knock came again. This time, followed by a voice. Human. Open the door. We know she's inside. Saria pressed herself against the wall, clutching the blanket around her. Her skin had turned a pale blue from fear. Her lips trembled, but she didn't make a sound. Liam turned to her. Stay quiet. Let me talk. He pressed the button beside the door. The panel slid open slowly with a hiss. 3 alien figures stood outside. Tall. Black armor. Glowing red visors. Their boots sunk deep into the sand as if the ground feared them. On their shoulders were silver marks, symbols of the Judgment Force, the brutal enforcers of alien tradition. The leader stepped forward. His voice was cold. You are the human called Liam Yates? Yes, Liam said firmly. You are harboring a female named Saria Vahalan. She is marked for final rejection. You will surrender her now. Liam stepped out of the doorway, blocking their path. No. The leader tilted his head. Excuse me? She's not just some runaway. She is my registered bondmate now, under human law. He held up his data slate. The screen glowed green with the words, Bond confirmed. Cross-species registration approved. The aliens stared. For a second, the wind was the only sound. Then the second enforcer stepped forward. Speaking in a strange tongue, Saria whispered from behind the door, translating. He says it's not real. He says you were tricked. I wasn't, Liam said loudly. We followed protocol. Check the signature. She's legally protected now. You can't take her. The leader narrowed his eyes. You may fool Earth's machines, but you will not fool tradition, he said. There are tests, ancient ones. We will know if the bond is false. Liam swallowed hard. What kind of tests? We ask questions, the alien replied. Deep questions, about the other's soul. If the answers are wrong, the lie is exposed. If you fail, we take her. Liam looked back at Saria. She nodded slowly. I'll answer. I will not run. The enforcers entered the shelter. Their presence made the room feel smaller, darker. The leader raised a small black orb. It hovered between Liam and Saria, glowing with strange energy. Answer truthfully, he said, or the orb will burn red. First question. What is her deepest fear? Liam looked at Saria. He didn't know. They had just met. But then, he remembered the way she cried in the sand, the way she said her name would be erased, her bloodline forgotten. He spoke. To be forgotten, to die without meaning, that's her fear. The orb stayed blue. Second question. What color was the blanket you gave her? Liam blinked. Gray, with yellow stripes. The orb stayed blue. Final question. What did she say to you before? She fainted in the sand? He thought hard. The words echoed in his mind. Thank you. For not walking away. The orb glowed bright blue, then faded. The lead enforcer stepped back, his expression unreadable behind the red visor. The bond is valid. Saria gasped softly. Her knees nearly gave out, but the enforcer raised a warning finger. You may have saved her for now, human, but if the bond breaks, if she leaves you, we return, and next time we do not knock. They turned and marched out into the sand. Liam shut the door behind them. He turned to Saria. She was crying again, but this time the tears were different. You remembered, she whispered. I guess I did. You passed the tests. You saved me. He shook his head. This isn't over. They'll keep watching. We have to keep this up. Stay careful. No one else can know it was fake. Saria wiped her eyes. Yes, I will do whatever it takes. I owe you my life. Liam sighed and sat down. You don't owe me anything. Just don't disappear on me. She nodded. I won't. Outside, the ship lifted off and vanished into the sky. But inside the shelter, something strange had started to grow. Not just a bond by law, but something slowly real, and they both felt it. Her hidden past. The next morning, Liam woke to silence. The kind of silence that made you feel like something was watching you. He turned his head. Saria was not on the floor where she had been sleeping. Saria, he called, sitting up fast. No answer. He rushed to the door of the shelter, heart pounding. But just a few steps outside, he stopped. She was sitting alone near a large stone, her back to the rising twin suns. The wind played with her silver hair as she drew strange symbols in the sand with her finger. She didn't look up when he approached. You're up early, Liam said, trying to sound calm. I couldn't sleep, she replied softly. He noticed her hand was shaking as she traced one of the symbols over and over, a long oval with a mark in the center. He didn't recognize it. What is that? He asked. Saria stopped drawing. For a moment, she didn't speak. Then, slowly, she whispered, It's the mark of my bloodline. Liam sat down beside her. I thought you didn't want to talk about your past. I didn't. But you risked your life to protect me. You deserve the truth. She looked at him, her violet eyes shining with pain. I was not born poor, Liam. I was born into the royal House of Vahlin, a noble family. My mother was once queen of our sector. Liam blinked. You're a princess? Saria gave a bitter laugh. No, not anymore. My mother was removed, betrayed. When our bloodline lost power, the council stripped us of everything. Wealth, home, even our names. She traced another mark in the sand. I was young when it happened. They called me cursed, a dark birth. They said no male should bond with me, or the curse would spread. Liam frowned. But that's just superstition. To them it is law, Saria said quietly. At age 16 I was cast out. No one dared touch me. No one looked at me. Until I was of age, and still unbonded. That's when they marked me for the final rejection. Liam felt a sharp anger rise inside him. They punished you for being abandoned. They wanted me erased. So no one remembered the queen who lost everything. Liam stood up and began pacing. And that's why they chased you, why they tested us. Yes, Saria nodded. They would rather see me dead than bonded, because if I live, I am a reminder. Liam shook his head. You should have told me this from the start. I was afraid, she said. I didn't want you to see me as a problem. I already saw you as someone worth saving, Liam replied. That hasn't changed. She looked up at him, shocked. No one has ever said that to me. He walked back and offered his hand again. She hesitated, and then took it. Let's go inside, Liam said. We'll figure this out, together. As they stepped back toward the shelter, neither of them noticed the small floating drone above the rocks. It blinked red once, then vanished into the clouds. Back inside, Liam poured Saria some warm tea while she sat with a blanket around her shoulders. There's something else, she said after a long pause. Liam looked up. What is it now? I wasn't supposed to survive my first year alone, she said. But I did. I found a gift. A strange energy inside me. She raised her hand and a small orb of light appeared in her palm. Liam's eyes widened. What is that? Royal blood comes with power, she explained. It's faint, but it's real. I can sense emotions and I can influence machines a little. No wonder they're scared of you, Liam whispered. You're not cursed. You're powerful. Saria closed her hand and the light disappeared. But I've hidden it all my life. If they find out, they'll return, not just to erase me, but to study me, tear me apart. Liam stood, jaw tight. Then we make a new plan. She blinked. Plan? You stay here, hidden. I'll block any signals, set up watchers, maybe even move you underground if we need to. But no one is taking you again. You would do all that? I already put my name next to yours, he said. Might as well make it count. A tear slipped down her cheek. Liam, she said softly, I don't think this is fake anymore. Liam didn't answer. He just nodded and looked away. But deep inside, he was beginning to feel the same. Outside, the wind blew through the red sands, carrying whispers of war and the coming of something dark. A marriage of survival. The sky turned orange as the twin suns lowered toward the horizon. Liam stood near the entrance of the colony's bond registry, his heart pounding harder than it ever had during any machine repair, fire drill, or alien tech meltdown. This wasn't about systems anymore, it was about survival. Hers. Saria stood beside him, wearing a clean robe Liam had borrowed from a trade vendor. Her hair was tied neatly, and though she tried to look calm, her hands trembled slightly. At her sides, people were staring, aliens from different colonies, humans from nearby outposts. Whispers filled the air. That's the rejected one. He's marrying her? Is this real? Or a trick? Liam tried to ignore them. His focus stayed on Saria, whose violet eyes kept darting toward the shadows, expecting the enforcers to return any moment. You still have time to walk away, she whispered. He shook his head. No, I don't. You're already under my protection. This will make it stronger. But this bond won't be real, she said. Not to you. He looked her in the eye. We may have started with a lie, Saria, but this part is my choice. Her lips parted in surprise, but the moment was broken by the voice of the registrar. Next, they stepped forward. The alien registrar, a wrinkled being with 6 eyes, eyed them carefully. Species bond, human and Vahlen. Unusual, but legal. Saria stood tall. We request recognition under Code 42, Protective Union Clause. The registrar nodded. Do both parties agree to bind names, share rights, and defend one another under interspecies law? I do, Liam said. I do, Saria replied. The registrar took their handprints and pressed them on a glowing seal. A flash of light burst between them. Their names etched themselves together on the digital scroll. Liam Yates and Saria Vahlen. Bond confirmed. Cheer did not follow. Only quiet murmurs and uneasy glances. It was done, but the colony didn't accept it. They returned to Liam's shelter under a darker sky. Saria sat on the bed while Liam checked the door locks again and again. Why are you still tense? She asked. He turned around. Because that bond wasn't just for show anymore, it's official. If they try to hurt you now, it's not just about you, it's war with me. That's not a small thing. Saria looked down. I didn't want to pull you into my world. Well, he said, sitting across from her. You didn't. I stepped in. She looked up slowly. Even if you don't love me, he hesitated. Love is big and fast, but I care. That's enough for now. She smiled sadly. That's more than anyone ever gave me. They sat in silence for a while. Then Liam stood. If we're truly bonded now, we need to learn each other. You should know my world, and I need to know yours. Saria's eyes lit up. You want to know my customs? Yeah, he said. Start with something simple. She thought for a moment, then stood and walked over to him. She placed her hand gently on his shoulder. In my culture, a mate touches the shoulder to promise protection. He blinked. That's it? That's the start, she said. Liam smiled and returned the gesture. Then consider that promise made. A soft hum suddenly came from the wall screen. A message alert. Liam opened it. His smile disappeared. Saria moved closer. What is it? He turned the screen so she could see. The message was brief, just one line from an unknown sender. You have made a mistake. The bond won't save her. She belongs to the old blood. And we are coming. Syria stepped back, her face pale. They know, she whispered. They know the truth. About who I am. Liam stood up slowly, muscles tight. Let them come. No, she said. You don't understand. If they send the blood hunters, they won't stop at just me. They'll erase anyone who helps me. Liam clenched his fists. Then we prepare. You're not going to run again. Not alone. This time you have someone beside you. Syria looked at him with wide, shaking eyes. You're not just saving my life now, she said. You're becoming part of my fight. Then let it be my fight too, he said. Outside, the stars began to show, and somewhere in the dark, sky above, something was already flying toward them. The price of protection, a storm rolled in from the desert that night. But it wasn't made of wind and sand. It was silence. Too deep. Shadows. Too still. And the strange cold feeling in the air, like something watching from above. Inside the metal shelter, Liam sat near the window, rifle on his lap. His tools were pushed aside. His focus had shifted from fixing machines to protecting someone who had never been protected before. Syria sat across from him, sharpening a thin crystal blade. Her hands moved slowly, her breath steady, but Liam could tell her mind wasn't calm. They're already here, she whispered without looking up. Liam tensed. You sure? I can feel them, she said. The blood hunters. They don't knock like the others. They sneak. They test your fear first. Liam stood and checked the door for the third time. Outside, there was nothing. No movement. Just the silent night. But Syria was right. The air felt wrong. Earlier that day, Liam had upgraded his shelter. He added scanners around the walls, motion sensors in the sand, and a coded lock on the hatch. He even reprogrammed an old defense bot to patrol the perimeter, but deep inside he knew if they truly wanted to get in, they would. Syria, he said, walking back to her. Why do they fear your bloodline so much? It's more than just your past. She paused. The blade in her hand glowed faintly. Because of what I carry, she answered. She stood and placed her palm on Liam's chest. A spark of warmth passed through him. My ancestors had power. It's in me. It stayed hidden because I was never bonded. But now, she looked into his eyes. The bond awakened it. Liam's heartbeat quickened. What kind of power? I don't know yet, but they do. That's why they sent the blood hunters. They want to extract it, use it, or destroy it if they can't. A loud clang hit the roof. Both of them jumped. Liam grabbed his rifle and ran to the ladder. He opened the roof hatch just enough to peek out. Nothing. The wind blew, but no creatures, no figures, no movement. Then he noticed something strange. The motion sensor light was gone. He climbed down quickly. One of the sensors was destroyed, he said. Something's circling us. Syria stood, her face now pale. They won't attack head-on. They'll wait until we sleep, until our defenses go quiet. They like the fear to build first. Liam looked at her. Then we don't sleep. Hours passed. The shelter stayed quiet. Too quiet. Liam sat against the door, rifle in hand. Syria sat by the wall, humming softly in her own language. The sound was haunting. Sad. What are you singing? He asked. It's a lullaby, she said. For children who had no home. He nodded. Did anyone ever sing it for you? She shook her head. No. I only heard it from the maid, before she disappeared. She used to whisper it to herself, thinking I couldn't hear. Liam looked at her. You never got to be a child, did you? No, she said. They stole it from me before I could speak full words. He lowered his weapon slightly. You have a chance now, he said. To live. To be free. And no one's going to take that from you again. But just as he said it, the back wall exploded. A blast of blue energy hit the corner of the shelter, knocking Liam off his feet. Syria screamed. The defense bot activated and fired randomly into the night, but a tall black-armored figure stepped through the smoke. The blood hunter had arrived. Its helmet had no face, just a shifting liquid metal screen. "Give her," it said in a voice that sounded like 1,000 whispers. Liam rolled to his feet and fired his rifle. The bullets bounced off the armor like pebbles. The hunter raised its hand and slammed Liam against the wall with an invisible force. He gasped as air left his lungs. Saria stepped forward, arms glowing with strange blue light. "Enough!" she shouted. The hunter turned, but too late. Saria released a burst of energy from her palms. It struck the intruder and sent him flying backward into the sand. The glow in her hands dimmed but didn't go out. She ran to Liam and helped him sit up. "You're glowing," he gasped. "I'm done hiding," she said, her voice shaking, but strong. Another sound came from outside. 2 more figures approaching. Liam reached for his rifle again. But Saria stood tall. "No more running," she whispered. "It's time I fight for the life you gave me." And this time Liam didn't stand in front of her. He stood beside her. Love or duty? Smoke curled into the night sky. 2 more hunters lay broken in the sand, their armor shattered, their bodies motionless. Liam stood breathless, leaning against the doorway of the shelter, bruised and bleeding, but alive. Beside him stood Saria. Her eyes glowed softly, her hand still pulsing with the faint light of the power inside her. She had fought like someone reborn, no longer the weak, frightened woman crawling through dust. Now she was something more, something powerful. But with that power came fear, not from the hunters, from herself. She stared at her hands. "I didn't know I could do that." Liam wiped blood from his mouth. "Good thing you did." She turned to him, voice trembling. "What if I become like them? What if the power makes me cruel? That's what they fear, isn't it? That I'll become a weapon." Liam stepped closer. "No, they fear you because you weren't supposed to survive. You weren't supposed to rise, but you did." She looked into his eyes. "And you weren't supposed to care." He smiled. "And yet, here we are." Silence fell between them as the wind cooled the burning edges of the broken shelter. Stars glittered overhead, clear and sharp in the desert sky. Then Saria spoke softly but with weight. "The bond. It started as protection, but now..." She paused. "I need to know. For you, is this still duty?" Liam didn't answer right away. He looked out at the desert, remembering the day she fell to her knees and begged him to save her life. Back then she was just a stranger, a burden, a problem. Now she was someone he couldn't imagine walking away from. He turned to her. "Saria, I didn't plan for this. I didn't wake up wanting to save someone, let alone marry them." She looked down, heart sinking. "But," he continued, "the truth is, I've never met anyone like you. Someone who's suffered so much and still chooses to fight. Someone who was thrown away and still stands." He stepped forward. "I don't know what tomorrow brings. I don't know if we're safe. But I do know this. I want to be with you. Not because I have to, but because I choose to." Saria's breath caught in her throat. "You're not afraid?" she whispered. "I'm terrified," he said with a grin. "But I'd rather face danger with you than be safe without you." Her hand slowly reached up, touching his face. "You're strange, Liam Yates," she said, tears gathering in her eyes. "Strange. And exactly what I needed." She leaned in and rested her forehead against his. No more pretending. No more fake bonds. This was real now. Later that night, as they fixed what was left of the shelter, Liam set up the emergency beacon. "Are you sure about this?" Saria asked. "We can't keep hiding forever," Liam said. "We need allies, human and alien. What if the message brings more hunters? Then they'll find a stronger pair than before," he replied, "and we'll be ready." She smiled, more at peace than he had ever seen her. "What happens now?" she asked. Liam shrugged. "We build. We protect each other. We figure this out day by day." She nodded. "Then I will stay, as your mate. Not just for safety, but for choice." for hope. The beacon blinked to life, sending out a signal. Not a call for help, but a warning to those who would still come. She is no longer alone, and the human beside her will never let her be taken again.